welcome to
What Up Eugene?
I, of course, am your host, Lars. I'm joined every week, as always, by Dan. Tell me, Dan, what's going on? How you doing? You're shaking your hands. You're doing stuff.
I'm trying to get riled up for this.
You're hyped? Are you hyped? Are you psyched? Are you so psyched? This is episode 17, 16? Episode 16. I made up a number there. It wasn't 17. This is episode 16 of What Up Eugene, and we're back using Ableton. This is the second episode we've ever done. Officially, I legally own it this time, which is great because it's very hard to pirate. Yeah.
We're getting a little clap there. That's cool.
And we got ourselves a little MIDI controller, so I can just press it and make all the sounds play. So, of course, due to the magic of Hollywood, you never knew at home that we were editing some of those sounds in post or dragging files around while we played. But now it's all live.
I'm incredibly excited for this, actually.
No, I'm super stoked. The only problem, and I'll have to figure it out, like, there's like a 3-second delay on these buttons. I hit it, and it plays the file quite a bit later. But that's, whatever, that's easy. Dan.
Hey.
So for 15 episodes in a row, we've had a guest. Is today different?
What?
Sorry,
I was trying to think of a Roy Moore joke with the 15. Like it's just almost too old for Roy Moore.
I was trying to ask you if we had a guest today by implying that we've always had one, and it'd be weird if we didn't today.
I think we do have a guest.
Do we? Is there a theme?
Oh, there's a theme. The guest on the show today is Clayton Williams. On his fucking bike.
Hey, what up, Eugene?
And that would be Dan's famous dubstep app, the only thing he can make themes with anymore.
It's what it takes when I only have half an hour to the show, and I realize I don't even have an intro for them.
Well, not only that, he only had half an hour, and I was like, Dan, I need a new game show buzzer, because the buzzer we've been using is not actually a you lose sound. It's like the waiting, like the wah waiting sound from.
Oh yeah.
What show is that from? I don't have that one queued up, but it was not a you lose sound. It was just like do 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 do.
Oh yeah, it's from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
That is too.
Yeah.
So
in the hot seat.
We try not to mention it because we're a little worried about the copyright on that.
Yeah, well, we're not making any money.
We're not making any money. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yet.
Oh yeah.
Well, as soon as we start making money, we'll either start paying or making our own themes. Actually, which would be super easy to do in Ableton Live. So that's the future of the show. But for today, what's going on, Clayton? How you doing?
Hey man, just got off work and everything. Came over here and doing my first podcast.
Wow.
Okay, well, so your first podcast, I'd like to address a few things. First of all of California is on fire. A couple months ago, all of Oregon was on fire. It hasn't rained in what feels like a month. Is the world ending? What's going on? It's the end of times, right?
I'm pretty damn sure, actually. It's not going to end the way you think it's going to end. I was talking about this with a buddy the other day, and it's like, everyone's thinking, oh man, it's going to be some cataclysmic, like, oh man, the sky's raining fire and the volcanoes are rubbing. Everyone's like, chickens all run around with their heads cut off. But like, it's not going to happen like that, which is such a letdown. It's going to be
a slow, painful death.
Yeah, the way we came to it was like, it's going to be more like the USSR, where it's like
ice
everything
melting.
Yeah, the fucking mail stopped getting delivered, Oh wait, can I curse?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you cursed.
Yeah. Oh, like don't let my
grandma. For me.
Yeah. Don't let my grandmother listen to this. Like,
I'm gonna get my beep sound.
I can't wait till we get those on the soundboard.
Oh, well,
man.
Not with a 3-second delay. They'd be cursing, and I'd be like, hold on. You can curse 3 seconds after I press the button. You gotta sync it up.
Go back and say that. Can you drop that F-bomb and then tell me when you're gonna do it? Like, yeah.
Well, we always like to start the show with really the best segment of the show. So once we do that, there's no reason to keep listening or keep being. You can leave.
Oh,
yeah. And that would be this segment here.
The peer-reviewed beer review.
You can go ahead and grab that right there. That one's for you.
The reason I actually picked the MIDI controller I bought, which is like a APC, Akai, whatever, a mini, is because it has like 8 volume sliders on it, and so I can just kind of as we go.
Yeah,
that's
dig
super
it.
fun. That's great. Dan,
well,
what
cheers,
is this?
guys.
What are we drinking here?
I'd like
cheers.
that's cheers. I'd like Clayton to read the bottle and kind of describe it for us.
Well,
it smells
looks
like
like
it does smell like piss. It looks like piss.
It does.
So it is an original farmhouse cider from Tumalo Cider Company, and it's brewed in Bend, Oregon. Their tagline is "Naturally Hard," which is a little suggestive. Like
so that implies.
like,
Okay. No, I believe they said that this is all either Oregon or Pacific Northwest apples. Did you go with the dry or the kind of dry?
The semi-dry.
The semi-dry. So.
Wow, this actually kind of tastes like one I brewed a little while ago.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's no sugar added. So that's why it's so. That's good. I mean, it really is not sweet.
Yeah, it's really, they say dry, they mean it. And they say cider with a focus on dry, complex profiles. Yeah.
How would you describe the alcohol per volume? Does it say on there?
What do we got here? It says it is... Oh, it's a 6.9.
Oh, 6.69.
So this,
Naturally hard.
Oh, yeah. They're going for the full innuendo.
We have fun on this show.
Cheers. No, it's not bad.
So let's tell you how the peer-reviewed beer review works. Dan and I, and you as well, are going to rate this on a scale. Dan's scale he uses is between 0 and 5 Lars, and that's a picture of my face. It's kind of creepy. My scale is between 0 and 300 stars. I do that because it's a real pain in the ass graphic for Dan. And he does make the graphics at peerreviewedbeerreview.tumblr.com. You can see all the graphics from everything we've ever rated.
Nice.
So our guest also gets to rate it, and they get to make up their own scale.
Oh.
And then Dan will do the graphic. Ideally, blank out of blank something, like 13 out of 11, batteries or whatever. Something that's relatively easy to do the graphic for, and easy to understand. But some people have done peanut butter cookie. That's the rating. So you get a minute here to think about what your scale is, and then what your overall rating will be for this drink.
Let's see here.
What are you thinking about, Dan?
It's getting stuck in my mustache a little.
I was thinking of, I was going to help him with his rating scale.
Oh, you got some ideas?
And I just got to wondering, he's a bike man. A bike repairman, a bicyclist enthusiast.
Okay.
Or a bike enthusiast. I guess you wouldn't, that mean... anyway.
A cyclist?
How many spokes are on the average bike wheel? I don't know.
So you've got either 32 or 36, depending on the wheel. But then, you've also got some fancy ones with bladed spokes that come down to 22. And then you got some that are, up to upwards of 60.
Is it better to have less or more?
So it's not necessarily a factor of less or more. I mean, depending on
how big they are.
Well, okay, so you've got what you're really, the bike aficionados are really caught up with the butted and non-butted and bladed spokes and everything. So generally, 36 would be a proper mountain bike wheel and everything. 32 road bike wheel. That's kind of the 27 or 700C range. But
it's a lot more of an answer than I expected, and I'm impressed.
Yeah, I literally do this for a living, so.
The average bike chain length, go.
116 links.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, there we go. What's the length of a link?
Well, it depends on if it's stretched or not and everything.
He knows the answers.
About a half an inch.
This guy bikes.
Yeah, I mean, I still got a little bit of grease on my hands from working on them 10 minutes ago.
Hey,
so.
babe, it's 116 half inches.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, I measure. Yeah, I mean, I will give. I found out there you go. There's my rating scale. I will give this 102 links out of 116. It's good, but it's
not perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't really have much on the nose. There's not really like a.
High end.
Yeah, there's not a smell really. It's very. There's not.
Yeah, no, it does smell like piss. It really has. It really captures a cat peed in my cup.
Yeah, it looks like me after not drinking water for about 2.5 days.
It does.
That's about the color we've got.
Man.
Very much.
Sometimes, like
you're going on a cider binge.
Well, fuck, I drink a little bit of coffee, and then in the afternoon I had some coffee, and then the next day I had some coffee, and I'm like, I haven't drinking water in a day. I'm gonna die.
Are you on coffee right now?
Oh hell yeah! Oh
okay.
yeah!
I was gonna say I haven't
coming to our podcast under illegal substances. Legal substances.
Get out!
You have to be on only the illegal ones.
Yeah. Have you guys noticed the sediment in the bottle? Look at the bottom of that bottle.
That's how you know it's a skunky farmhouse one. That
is
almost like.
Are there preservatives?
That's like an extra amount than normal. And normally they would clarify it a little bit, but they might not add the sulfite agent that actually lets the yeast settle out, and then they might not re-rack it. But I mean, that also could become from bottling sugar. But you said they didn't add sugar, so
you sound like you know a lot about not just biking, but brewing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm starting to wonder if you're the most Eugene guest we've had on this show yet.
I should have worn my tie-dye bandana, man.
You're wearing a hat that I could believe is from Holiday Market, Saturday Market, or you maybe made it yourself.
I actually did make it myself.
Son of a bitch.
Check them out on Patchwork Design Co. on Etsy.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy of this.
We're not.
Well,
Oh man, but he's already getting the plugs in.
Yeah,
early in the show, he's throwing plugs our way. I love it. I love it. Dan, what's your rating on this drink?
I'm gonna say this. I like semi-sweets. This is a semi-dry.
Yeah.
This is nowhere near sweet.
It's not sweet at all.
But I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it because it's not sweet. It has an interesting flavor profile.
It has that kind of earthy, almost dirt flavor you get with a ginger beer, where you're like, oh, that's kind of natural.
Right. I mean, it's that, but minus the spicy.
No, it's not spicy. No, just the earthy bit, not the spice at all.
I'm gonna give this a solid 3.5 out of 5 Lars.
You know, he picks that score every time.
If you look at the scores I've given, you'll notice that's the average, but it is not the only score I give it.
Like, you're like, I like it, I don't love it, you know. Like,
it's like 2.5, 3.5. Sometimes he gives a thing a 3. No 4s, no 1s, no 5s.
Yeah, like, I'm looking for something to wow me, really. You know?
Well, that's why I picked 300 stars. Like, for me, 100 stars is a good score. Like, if you went and you told someone, hey, I got 100 stars, that's crazy. That's 10 times more than most people are even in contention for. Man. I don't give a lot of drinks 300. This, I actually really like this. It's
Sorry.
I did mine off mic. Don't worry.
We split this 3 ways. You know, it's just like one little 16 ounce or whatever. I don't think I could drink a whole one of these. I think there's not enough flavor there to keep me interested. But it's not bad. It's not overly sweet. I do like the dry ciders more than the sweet. There's kind of nothing for the second flavor. It hits you on the tongue, and then that's kind of it. I'd give it 125 out of 300 stars. I think it's a very confidently adequate
Cheers.
drink.
That's good. That's a good rating. Yeah. I'd put this on a flight, and I wouldn't be mad. That's my new thing. That's what I'm gonna start saying when it's a decent one. You put that on a flight, I'll drink it.
Yeah, right. I'll pretty much drink anything on a flight. Like,
if this was actually pee, but I was in the sky.
But no, I'm talking about like when you get a flight at a bar. You get a flight, which is just like a sampling of like 5 or 6 that you choose.
I thought you were doing like airline food humor. You're like, well, if I was on a plane, I'd watch your movie.
At 50,000 feet, anything tastes delicious, man. Yeah.
Fuck it, they got alcohol, I'll drink it.
I mean, when I was like, the first time I had it on a plane, I was actually headed down to New Zealand and everything, right? And,
all right.
You know, I was like 19 and stuff, and, you know, I'm in the air, and we've got a 24-hour flight. Like, you're 24 hours in the air, or on the clock, but you're, 14 hours in the air and everything, right? Sure. And the lady, you know, kind of walks by, and she's like, would you like some champagne and orange juice and everything? And I was like, I was all sheepish. I was like, oh, no, thanks. And like, hell yeah, I did, you know? So, like, you know, cool. I kind of, you know, she went by a couple more times and everything, and I was like, oh, wait, international waters. Oh, no, I'm legal. Yes. Yeah. So, like, you know, kind of.
And then you saw the bill.
Yeah, no. It was free. It was free.
What?
You know, no, come on. They want you to drink. You're in the air for 14 hours.
God,
like,
wait, is this like that European healthcare I hear about? You get the free drinks? 'Cause that's mental health care, right?
Yeah. I mean, got down there, and the gal I was dating, you know, she was a little underweight. And so they literally prescribed her medicinal stouts. You know,
way.
like,
yeah. Wow, that is.
That's why New Zealand's so hard to get into. Everyone wants to be there.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, definitely a good place to go. But I mean, if you're going, you're not going to be able to immigrate there. So go on the working holiday visa. If you guys don't know about it, you get a year-long visa, and between the ages of 18 and 25, you can basically get this visa, and you can work and live in the country and kind of tool around and stuff. And yeah, it's definitely. I went down to Woof and everything. So
I think a year in New Zealand sounds about right for me. I don't think I could do I could do off the grid for a little while, but not forever.
Right.
You sure about that, Lars? The Hobbits might take you in as one of their own.
Oh, well, man.
You know, Dan, here's the thing.
No.
Dan,
you're going to hear it?
I'm not a fan of civilization. I think everyone knows that. But I do like internet. So this is kind of like the thing. I don't want to be in the middle of nowhere.
This is a first world country. Don't get me wrong.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the Commonwealth, you know? Like, it's basically, when I got down there, it's actually they're more English than English people, actually. It's kind of crazy, you know?
Do your best New Zealand accent right now.
We're going to go down to Waikato and, you know, just go over to Tiki River.
There it is. That is such a thick accent.
All I got to do is just drop your vowels a little bit.
Yeah. I always, like, when you hear Flight of the Conchords, Brett and Jermaine talking, you hear it's like a really subtle, light accent, and you're like, oh, that's... And then you hear, like, a real New Zealander talking, and you're like, holy shit, he's...
True blue.
That's, like, 3 times thicker than Scottish.
Oh, yeah,
like,
true blue Kiwi. Yeah.
For those who don't know what Clayton looks like, he looks like a skinny Peter Jackson, let me just say that.
I haven't got that one yet. Thanks.
Did you lose weight after doing the movies, or?
Yeah. Actually, I drove by his house and everything. Like, wow. So when I got there, I didn't.
What year was this?
This was about 2009, I believe.
Okay,
like,
so this was before they were filming The Hobbit. Right?
Oh yeah, no, before The Hobbit. Actually, they were filming The Hobbit as I was there.
Oh, they
and
were
everything.
filming The
Actually,
Hobbit. Okay,
it was amazing. Like, I actually saw some of the ads that they put out for extras and everything. Yeah. I was a little too tall though, and like, and I'm not. I don't look like an orc, which is actually all the orcs are actually played like by Maori guys and everything.
I think if you grew your beard out a little bit more, you could probably do Radagast the Brown.
Yeah, totally. Like, but was like basically taking this moped. I took it 10,000 kilometers, which is about
like 8,000 miles. Or so?
Yeah, yeah.
Kilometers are a little shorter than miles.
Yeah,
right?
so a little farther than that and everything. Basically, about from here, from Eugene to New York and back is basically how far I went on this moped.
Holy shit!
And I passed by Peter Jackson's on the day that I broke down. And basically, I was headed to, it was my girlfriend's parents' house and everything because I met this girl down there and her parents got me some work and everything, doing some landscape stuff. And so I'm cruising back up to Napier area, and I passed Peter Jackson's house, and there was like a few miles farther than that, there was like a little campground and everything. So I stayed the night, and of course, 80 kilometer an hour winds and everything. So 70 mile an hour winds, blowing, and I only tied down half my tent. And so in the middle of the night, the winds had changed directions and everything. So I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning to like a wet tent, like falling on top of me.
Hold on, now. You were camping in New Zealand?
Yeah,
riding your moped around for thousands of miles?
Yeah,
Who
buddy.
are you, Clayton?
Yeah.
I had no idea this. This is a life you led.
I know.
Well, he's been saving the story for his first podcast. He's like, tell no one until I'm recorded.
Oh, no, I've literally told everybody since I got back. Like, yeah.
That's incredible.
And it was, 10 months and 10,000 kilometers later, But yeah, so I wake up in the morning and I pin my other side of my tent down and, I crawl back in the one and I pulled a couple rocks out of the fire to basically keep warm and everything. And so I wrapped them up in a t-shirt and like, it was super cold, so I'm about to die here. Like, fucking Peter Jackson is warm in his house like a mile away, But anyway, so I get up. And it's about 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock, and the sun's just starting to come up, and it's fucking freezing out. And so I get on my moped, and I start to head up the Rimatakas, which is like the biggest mountain range in the North Island. And so I get to what is this little church that's the last thing that I'm going to see before heading up. And I didn't have any really food on me, so like I had like a part of a carrot that I didn't eat with like some ramen noodles the night before, and like that's not a full breakfast for 8 hours of riding. And I get in, and here's this like, kind of like hotel, and it's like they are having this church service in the lobby and everything, right? And they've got a fucking buffet, just like a mile long and everything, with just everything on it. And like, so I kind of pull one of the ladies to the side, and I was like, can I pay for some of that, or can I have some of that? Like, and she's like, oh no, sorry, that's for the church service. And there's like 8 people sitting in a circle, like reading some passages to each other, like.
I really thought she was going to go the other way and then be like, of course, my child.
No, they totally, yeah. So much for Christian generosity and everything, actually. So I'm fucking out there, and I basically, I'm out there putting some oil in my moped and everything because I'm about to head up the mountain range. And like, it's like pouring down rain, and like, they had like this big breakfast and everything, come out all like satiated. And like, so anyway, so I started up the Rimatakas. And I'm getting basically to the top, and there's, the right at the peak is where the wind's coming over the top and everything, right? And so I've got this poncho on, and right as I come around the corner of the very peak, and I've just gone, 10, 15 kilometers up the hill, and was like crossing 2-3 inches of water, and like in some places there's like a ford, like you have to ford the water coming across the road, because they don't really build roads like we build roads,
sure,
like, and so I get to the top and my poncho blows over my head, and I'm on the left-hand side of the road. And so on the right-hand side, there's traffic. And on the left-hand side, there's like a 150-foot precipice, that I'm getting blown off of. And I let off my gas to like get my poncho off my head, and my moped dies. Ooh. And so I'm stuck at the fucking top of the hill, and there's all these cars piling up behind me and everything, right? So I just twisted that poncho and like pinched it between my legs and coasted the other side of the Rimatakas and everything all the way down, and like, got to the very bottom, and like called my girlfriend and everything. And I was like, I'm stuck. Do you know anybody in this part of New Zealand? Like, and so pushed it for about a mile, and then somebody was nice enough to pick my wet ass up and we put the moped in the back of the one, and I go to get in the cab, and he's like, oh, no, you ride in the back. So we're flying down the road, and like with the fucking rain and everything, and I'm holding the moped up, and we basically get to the next town, and he gets to the gas station, helps me unload the moped, and is like, see ya. So I spent the next like a couple hours like fixing my moped in this garage in the gas station and everything. And so after that, like, got a little breakfast, and then had another 6 hours of riding. So
I think I've learned two things. One, Clayton is definitely one of our more interesting guests, and two, and I'd say this on air. It sounds to me like New Zealanders are assholes.
No, they're so nice. Like, I mean,
except for the ones in your story.
No, a little standoffish and everything. Like, but once you meet them and everything, really talkative, wonderful people. I don't want you to give that impression and everything, actually, because like
I was getting that.
I mean, just in case they hear, like, no,
because they will kill you.
No, I mean, they'll eat you, but like that's different. That's entirely different.
Are you basing it off of Bad Taste, Peter Jackson's film? That was one. Yeah. It's basically a zombie film, I think.
Yeah. I mean, there's some real quality ones from down there. Like,
yeah. Well, that's an incredible story. Yeah, we've never heard a story like that on here before.
We haven't. And Dan, you know what? I did all that fancy audio cueing, and I made a mistake. I didn't actually cue up the Okay Noodle theme.
Okay Noodle?
Okay Noodle. Find me a restaurant in Eugene, Oregon.
Okay. I am finding you restaurants in Eugene, Oregon.
Thanks.
Oh, thank God.
I'm going to have to play that in post. Is that not are we not doing Okay Noodle today?
We're doing Okay Noodle right now.
Okay,
cool.
Well, I'll get that theme queued up in post, and for the meanwhile, we'll listen to this copywritten music.
Take a bit of a darker turn on a game we call
Okay Noodle.
Okay Noodle.
So the rules of this game are pretty straightforward, Clayton. You're going to get asked 5 questions. They go from easy to hard. If you get 2, you get a prize in the prize bag. Every additional answer correct is another prize, for a possible max of 4 prizes if you get all 5 correct.
All right.
What is the theme of these questions, Dan?
Theme of these questions, these are restaurants culled from Google Maps. When you type in restaurants in Eugene, they give you brief descriptions on the left side of what each restaurant is all about. Some of them are very vague. Some of them have information that'll let you know what restaurant Google has talked about.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you these brief descriptions, and you're going to try to figure out which Eugene-centric restaurant we are talking about.
Nice.
This does not include Dairy Queen, Burger King, any of that stuff. It's
Eugene specific.
Eugene specific. Maybe they have a couple chains in Eugene.
P&W chain, maybe.
Oh, I got this.
All right.
No.
You got this? I was going to ask.
You do get 1 lifeline, which is that if you don't know it and I do, I'll answer for you.
Okay.
But I am terrible at this game. I'm good at the other trivia games. Okay, Noodle. Like, if you don't know, like, I'm willing to take a guess for you, but I have been wrong almost every time.
Also, once you
have... Oh, no, what a lifeline.
Once you have 2 correct, which means you've already got a prize in the bag, you forfeit your lifeline.
Dan takes me away until it gets really hard, then he gives me back.
Okay.
No, this is a hard round, but he is cocky.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, he knows. He's like, I know the New Zealand restaurants. You think I can't handle a little Eugene? 10,000 kilometers. You think I haven't eaten inside?
Yeah.
Okay, Clayton, are you ready to play?
Ready as I can.
Okay. Restaurant number 1 is described as relaxed counter-serve spot preparing a variety of Hawaiian staples such as loco moco.
Loco moco.
If you want to reread, you're welcome to get a reread.
So, I only get 1 guess?
You only get 1 guess.
Okay. So, Loco Moco.
Now, I know a Hawaiian-themed place that serves Loco Moco, but I don't know if it's the only
I'm going to
one.
say Ron's Island Grill.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Can I give me, like, a thumbs up so I can play the file?
It is Ron's Island Grill.
Yeah!
All right.
Yeah.
That was something I didn't think about.
That was risky. It could have been Hawaiian time.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I ate a Hawaiian time today for lunch. So they don't got no Loco
happened
Moco.
Hawaiian time has much better chicken. Like overall, I think in their mac salad's more flavorful, but they have almost no variety on the menu. Ron's has I think the local one changed their menu recently, so I don't think they have pad thai anymore. But they had like pad thai, like yakisoba, loco moco. They have like 13 different things.
Oh man, and their crispy like chicken goodness. That's
I don't eat Hawaiian enough.
Yeah,
I like working at where I work and everything. I Hawaiian time is right there.
Hawaiian time is
I've actually had it so many times that I can tell who's cooking like the chicken and everything, and like who made the rice and stuff. Because like sometimes people add more kind of creaminess to the mac salad, and sometimes people will like leave the chicken on the grill for longer.
We've noticed that with different restaurants. Super burrito can be chain.
Definitely. Last time I was at the Hawaiian time, the one over kind of like Coburg, whatever area. It was a couple days ago. It was definitely very crispy chicken.
Yeah,
it was good, but a little bit. I was like, this is kind of burnt.
That's how I like it. I like it a little burnt. It
was also like 10 minutes before closing, so I think they just gave us all the chicken they had. It was like a lot of chicken.
It's like been on there for 6 hours. They're like, oh fuck, you know.
They're like, here you go.
Well, you know you're Hawaiian, but do you know restaurant number 2?
Ooh.
Which is described by Google as a low-key joint for sustainable wings with many sauces, plus rotating draft beers, music, and TV sports.
Oh, that's got to be Hot Mamas.
It is.
Oh yeah!
That was a long delay, but you know what? You got it.
Nice. Yeah.
Wow, he's already forfeited his lifeline, but I don't think this guy needs it.
No, it was rotating beers that got me. Like, it could have been Toxic, but but they don't really have much of a tap selection.
Man, this guy knows all the wing places.
Oh yeah, buddy.
The buttons do not react as quick as I press them. I will have to edit this. Like, just take that 1 second wait away.
No, I like it. It gives a little suspense. You know
what's going on?
I know what I'm gonna do. When I ask if it's his final answer, I'm gonna show you the answer.
Oh, like hide it from him. Yeah. So, in editing, this is a little behind the scenes for the audience. In editing, I normally add all of this music in, but we're listening to it live today. So what I'll do is I'll edit the buzz, the correct, or the lose before Dan says it. But since it's live, I don't know if the answer's correct before Dan says it. So I'm like, Dan, like give me a hand signal.
Yeah. All right, we got this.
But now we want a real authentic reaction from the from the guest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Restaurant number 3. Modest spot with a long menu of vegan and vegetarian Chinese dishes, including some with veggie meats. That didn't make sense. With some with veggie meats?
Yeah, like Satan.
Like tofu.
Like Satan.
Ooh, I feel like I know this one. You probably do too.
That has got to be. Can I get a reread one more time?
Modest spot with a long menu of vegan and vegetarian Chinese dishes, including some with veggie meats.
And I'll tell you what, the one time I was there, I don't remember what the meat was, but it was like real as shit looking. It was like shrimp or something. It freaked me out.
Oh yeah. It's not.
I was
I know where this one is. I know it's on Charnelton by.
I'm pretty sure I know the name.
It's
I guessed it.
Spring, like Spring Garden or something like that.
Oh, that's so close. Do you want? Is this a lifeline?
It's yeah.
Is it? Oh, but what if I get it wrong? Oh shit!
It's the one next to
in my head. I'm pretty sure it's Lotus Garden.
Yeah,
Lotus Garden, right?
Totally.
That's your lifeline.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right.
No, my sister loves that place. Like the imitation crab. She's all
it was the crab. Yeah, that freaked me out.
Yeah,
I can't vouch. I hate Chinese.
Yeah. Oh man.
Although I like Kung Pao Bistro. I think Kung Pao Bistro is amazing.
I don't know, man. I'm a little worried about that place since Sweaty Ganesh opened up next door because, it was already funky food, but now it's got some extra funk seeping through the walls, I
didn't even think about that. But I am thinking about restaurant number 4. Pita sandwiches share the menu with curry dishes at this airy, low-key Indian and Greek eatery.
Indian and Greek, huh? Pita sandwiches. Ooh. See, my first thought when you said pita was Pita Pit, but it's not that one. They had more.
Do you want to reread?
Yeah, let's do it.
Pita sandwiches share the menu with curry dishes at this airy, low-key Indian and Greek eatery.
Ooh, let's see here. Is it Evergreen?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah. Oh!
The first incorrect answer.
Oh man, which by the way, does that put him at 2 or 3 correct so far?
I'm just trying to plug Evergreen. Really, that place is delicious.
Evergreen's buffet.
Dude, oh my god,
so
I love it.
good.
That tomato fucking chicken. Oh my god,
I like the chicken tiki masala.
Buddy.
It's all good.
I was hankering for it the other day. It was bad.
I go for that rice pudding.
Oh yeah. When you get the Thali dinner.
Have you heard of those like basically deep fried dough balls they have for desserts?
Oh, I haven't had that.
I haven't. No.
I've had that at a different Indian buffet.
I've had the only other Indian dessert I've had is the one that's like the kind of like sweet rice stuff. It's the whatever the weird texture. It's probably not rice. It's some other grain. Mm-hmm. It's like kind of darker brown or
might be like
colored.
a little buckwheat or something.
Yeah,
like. Oh, so what was it?
Yeah.
What was it? Poppies Anatolia.
Oh,
yeah. That's a good.
Oh yeah, I got bad memories about that place.
I've been there once. Not a big fan myself.
I don't like it, but like my whole family likes it, so I just want to go there for holidays.
I got broken up with there, so I haven't gone back yet.
Can I do a little Mediterranean Eugene sidetrack here? There's that restaurant that used to be Big Town Hero and then used to be the barbecue place, Barbecue King, and it's now I think it's called like Mediterranean Network Restaurant.
Yeah.
And every time I want to know what the fuck Network Restaurant means.
No, it's so
I'm
good.
So curious.
It's like
is it for like businesses or is there a network? Because if you Google Network Restaurant, the only thing that comes up is this fucking place, and I just want to know what that means. Like, is that just like poor translation? What
actually,
does that
I met the gal and everything. I went in there. Actually, it was super delicious and everything, and it was super slow. I did ask about the network part and everything, but it's ran by a really sweet gal and everything, and she's got like a little girl in elementary school, and it was like
I've been
lovely
wanting
dinner.
to try it for a while. I've lived next to that a year before I moved, and I just never got around to it.
My theory, and I'm a low-key...
You should definitely go.
I'm low-key boycotting. My theory is that it's to get you to go in and ask about it and then like smell it and have the food.
Oh man.
It's like to trick you in. You're like, what does that mean? And then you're like, oh, I'm eating this delicious food now. How'd that happen?
Before I know,
this is delicious. I believe you that the food's good and the lady's nice. I'm just not trying to get tricked. But I also want to know.
It might be that there is a like her family might have other networks.
Yeah, I thought about. I looked it up. I couldn't find anything. But this place has it shows up on Google, and I'm confused because like I don't know. I feel like it's probably just poor translation or something. But I'm wondering if they mean like, oh, there's a conference room in the back. It's like it's for networking.
Oh no,
what does this mean?
no. It's no. There's no. Basically, they've done a really good job. Like the renovations of the place. Yeah. I mean, Big Town Hero, that location specifically was like a really hard one where, I mean, it's always gonna look like a Big Town Hero, but they've got they've got some nice lights up in there, and it's like really nice table service now and everything. So,
we'll have to go.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I'll come back and I'll ask them.
Put someone, please.
I'll have the answers.
Actually,
why your network.
What's the Google version of the iPhone video calling, which I also don't remember the name of. I'd like to be on a video call with you while you ask, just so I can find out. I don't want to I can't
Duo.
wait. Duo, yeah.
I'll do a chest cam or whatever they call it. All right, last restaurant. Restaurant 5.
Does that mean he's got 3 correct so far?
That means he has 3 correct.
So that's 2 prizes out of the bag.
Okay.
Ready to go into the final question.
Very excited.
Restaurant 5, elevated tapas. Entrees and cocktails served in a cozy chef-owned eatery with weekend brunch. And I'm probably pronouncing tapas.
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 Yeah.
Tapas. Okay.
Elevated tapas.
Elevated tapas. Entrees and cocktails served in a cozy chef-owned eatery with weekend brunch.
Man, where do you go to get some tapas in Eugene?
Where do you want to get tapas in Eugene?
And it's cozy.
And it's chef-owned.
Cozy is kind of a code word for it's small.
Right. Always, like
the studio.
We've got about 10 seats, so get here early.
Yes.
This place especially. That's all the hints I'm going to give you.
Okay.
God, I know. I'm trying to think. The only place that the word chef-owned makes you think of is the restaurant where it's like the chef's choice, but it's a different menu every night. That's the whole gimmick,
you're talking
right?
about Grit.
Grit.
Yeah, it's not Grit.
Okay.
I haven't gone. Is that what it's
called? I thought it was called Chef's Choice. The one behind Sundance.
Oh, you're talking about that one.
Isn't that literally called? Maybe it's changed. I think it's literally called like Chef's Choice, and the menu's always different.
I've never been there actually.
The menu's always different.
They just actually redid the little market that's over there, which is I don't know. I like it, but now they've got that big glass booth there and everything,
really
which
Yeah.
I
went in. We were doing laundry the other day, and I went in, and I was like, "Oh, this is it's a lot."
Elevated tapas
with
entrees and cocktails served in a cozy chef-owned eatery with a weekend brunch.
Wait.
Oh, I love brunch, but I just don't know
because
where.
that place does That place doesn't do tapas. Does it the remodel of the Jiffy Mart? Since we're on the subject.
Oh yeah, no, they don't. Yeah,
they
I mean,
don't.
they used to have the best deli though. Don't get me wrong. That was the jam. You'd go there for the deli.
Going for the
it was like
bring back the Jiffy Mart. Come on, 2018.
Bring back the Jiffy Mart, but then put a few things on the shelf because there was always nothing on the fucking shelf. You know, like you walk in there's like 6-year-old cat food. You're like, yeah, okay, that's what I need right now. Like, it was basically just selling beer in that deli. Like
Yeah, Jiffy.
All right, well we gotta get to the break.
I'm not trying to be an asshole here.
No, but
I will tell you.
It's not Mame.
It's not Lupus
It's
Smooth.
not. I don't know. I don't have any more lifelines.
Yeah, you're out of lifelines again. If it makes you feel better, I do not know this one.
Let's go with. Let's go with El Taco Loco.
He's gonna go with El Taco Loco.
Yeah, down there on Blair.
Well, got some news for you.
Yeah!
No, that's the wrong one.
No,
Okay, here comes the wrong one.
You lost.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it wrong. That one was actually Membrio.
Oh, I knew it.
That's the Latin Kitchen.
I
Yeah.
totally knew
Latin
it.
Kitchen.
Like,
But you did. You know what? You did great, and you knew everything about every other restaurant. I'm sure. Have you been in Membrio?
oh, actually, I was gonna take a date there the other night, but like,
haven't
but I fixed one of the guy's bikes there and everything. Actually,
No way.
yeah, he's got this sweet downhill like mountain bike and everything. Shout out to that guy, man. Hell yeah.
Shout out to that guy.
Membrio, you have a wonderful bike.
Yeah.
Well,
oh man.
Before we get off
I'm
topic,
just drawing a blank right now. What
it
his
is
name
time to go to the break, and we're actually pretty far into this, so we're going to do the prize bag when we come back from the break, and that's called Tension. So we'll just pause right here, and I can't wait till we get back.
big one that I read was like Breakfast of Champions, but right now it's Lord of the Rings, like Return of the King, you know? So I skipped the entire series. I read most of The Hobbit and then broke up with the girl I was with when I was reading it. So I haven't finished The Hobbit. And so I skipped right to the fucking end, you know?
Was she from New Zealand?
No, yeah. She was from here and everything.
That's
like,
funny because I'm stuck in the Two Towers. I'm right at the end, but I don't want to read it because it's the part where they're mean to Sam, and I've seen it in the movies. I'm told it's not as bad in the book, but I'm not fucking with that.
Like, no,
so I haven't made it to the
Sam.
beginning of Return of the King.
Oh,
and
man.
We're back from the break, And now we heard some music. We heard some excellent ukulele playing, and what we were told is this is the music I play when I'm waiting for people. That's what you said. So is that, would you call it like waiting music? What would you call the title of that? Do you have a title?
It's kind of when I'm just hanging out by myself and trying to kill some time. Generally, I don't necessarily have a title for it and everything, but I've been playing since New Zealand and everything. Had to do some busking and everything down there to like make ends meet, and I found that, you know, if I got pretty crazy and made up songs and everything, the crazier I got, the more money people would give me. So like so that's how I survived down there, and I picked up ukulele kind of, and I've been playing since.
That's cool. I'm jealous.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones you pick it up every day, and a ukulele is so nice because it's like, it's small and you can just have it around and you just pick it up and dink on it for a little bit, and then, you know, you can put it down, whereas guitar is like, I feel like a lot of times, like when you start out to play guitar, it's this like monolithic endeavor where you gotta like.
It's a bit involved, yeah. Like, because ukulele, 4 strings, and there's a lot of, like, when you start out, a lot of the chords are 1 or 2 fingers.
Yeah.
And they're, you know, they're nylon strings, so they're soft on your fingers. Guitar, you have to go through the process of stretching your fingers out,
and calluses,
and then, you know, building up that, and then building up the, you know, being able to pick 6 different strings, you know, like, individually. Once you get there, it's the same. You can pick it up a noodle. I mean, it's a really excellent instrument to know.
Yeah.
But it takes a while, and it can be very discouraging because they'll try for a week or 2, but, you know, it's like, the thing is, you have to practice every day for like 6 months to be able to play guitar even a little bit.
Right.
And that can be really, I mean, that just is very discouraging for people.
Right, and to get into it, like, it's just not.
Because it's like, I mean, like, part of that is like, you know, if you sit down at a keyboard, like, whether or not you're good, you hit the key and a sound comes out. You know, guitar is like, it's not as hard as something like violin or trumpet where you really have to like force your body to make the note. But it doesn't, like, the sound doesn't come out immediately. There's a lot of controlling the dexterity in your hands to make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, I you know, I've actually shown a few people how to play uke. Like, I use the 1, 2, 3 method. Like, okay, so you can do a 1-finger chord, right? So you put your index finger on the 3rd fret, bottom string. All right, now strum. Holy crap, you just played a C. Some songs are completely just that note and everything. If you can strum the right pattern and everything, right? And like, with your right hand, it's how you're talking, and with your left hand, it's what you're saying and everything, right? And so then I'm like, okay, all right. So now you've done 1 chord and you've mastered all these songs and everything, right? Now let's move to 2 fingers. And so I'll have them do F. And they, you know, it's like you move 1 up, 1 over, and then, you know, 1 up, 1 over and everything, right? And so, you know, and then they strum that, and I'm like, oh, great. Now rock between those 2. Boom, you just mastered another 1,000 songs. You want to learn another 2,000 songs? All right, we're gonna do G.
Okay,
it's really hard, you know, like, but if you can do this, you can multi-instrument with this one, because you can also, a G on a ukulele is the same chord shape as a D on a guitar. So now you just learn 2 instruments and 2,000 songs at the same time. So so they'll play that, and then if they can rock those 3, you could play like pretty much every pop song.
1, 4, 5, and C is pretty much the entire musical catalog of history.
Yeah, totally.
Like, that's it. That's
like, you've just mastered pop music. Congratulations. 1, 2, 3. You know.
Well, that, and you know, the 12-bar blues, and you know a 12-bar jazz progression. I mean, you know, all of rock and roll. Like, there's no music genre you don't know with 1, 4, 5. Like, you can. You know, it won't be very complex, but that is Baroque harmony too. I mean, that's everything.
Yeah, totally. And it's really, and ukulele is so just approachable. And it's like, even if you're having a bad day, there's nothing you can't play on a ukulele that's like, oh, that was kind of nice. You're like, you can play just the darkest, most morbid shit ever, but you're like, oh, that was sweet. You know, like
Raining Blood.
It just comes out so happy. So
the ukulele does not know how to not be happy.
I mean, and especially in Eugene, where, you know, seasonal depression is a real thing.
Oh yeah, you brought me back with that song.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you had a Eugene day recently?
Yeah. Today was pretty Eugene.
Describe it. Describe your Eugenie day.
Oh man,
I'm doing. This is a thing Dan does. I'm proud of the fact.
Don't do it. You did it. I'm like, oh no.
Like I get what you mean. There's where you kind of walk outside and there's just something else kind of going on.
It all stemmed from one time where I ate at like Barry's Cafe and like hike Spencer Butte. I'm like, I'm doing like a lot of Eugene things.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to like going to Taco Bell and then going to Walmart, which is not centric.
Yeah,
right.
Or
like
not Eugene.
I usually work and sleep, so I'm like, okay, well, you know, I was kind of indoors. I was never really in Eugene. Yeah. So if I go for a walk in the park and I take some cool pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in Eugene. I'm at Amazon Park right now.
Yeah. I guess the last time, it was Well, I mean, I had a weekend and everything, and first thing I did was get up and kind of, I live kind of downtown and everything, right? So I strolled down Broadway, and of course, you ran into the Kesey Square and everything, and ran into a couple buddies and stuff, just because, I walk outside, and it's like, I'm gonna see some people I know, like, oh my God, you can't not, Yeah. So said hi to some people and everything, and then went down and got some like pastries and coffee and like hung out, and then,
Where'd you get your pastries and coffee?
Oh, I got it at Noisette, actually. Like,
I've never even heard of Noisette.
I've never have either.
Snap. Like, oh yeah, buddy. Like, I mean, they're like, I don't know, they're a little hip, but like the freaking pastries are just on point, and like the stuff that they make is just super yummy, super expensive, but like, I was having that kind of morning, like, okay, I really want a good cup of coffee, and I just want to. All I want to do is hang out downtown, and like I finally, for one day on a weekend, I don't have anything going on, and nobody's called me for work, or so hung out and had some pastries, and I'm like actually standing at the display case, and someone calls me for work. So the more Eugene part of it is I go back and I finish my pastry and coffee, and I go back home, and the guy never shows up, which is so Eugene, Like, do
you want to say where you work at?
So I operate a mobile bicycle service called Patchwork Repair, and we do house calls and city events, and we also, we do a little bit of in-shop work as well, and we've basically grown up in Eugene, kind of incubating through multiple stages and everything. So we worked at co-working spaces, and we've also worked and helped build the tool lending library that's over in the Friendly Street neighborhood. And I started it out of the back room of my house and everything, really. Like, basically, my sister had an old kind of like instep kind of burly style trailer and everything, right? So I basically pulled the skirts off of it, and I built my own kind of wood like drawers on the inside, and then put plywood on the side and made a canvas cover to go over the top. And for the first I guess the first year I did that, and then pulled that basically behind my bicycle to people's houses. And I was working at Saturday Market at the time, so I was kind of working and going to LCC, and like it kind of started after I basically was doing their bike lane program. So there's 40 bikes at LCC that you can rent out as students, and I was the only one fixing them. Nobody was fixing the bikes and everything, right? So they have all these bikes, and like, holy shit, I can't believe you're turning these loose for people, like, and they're just not tuned up, and like, oh, well, okay, well, I'll help out and everything. I'm pretty mechanically inclined, like, I grew up in the family that I did, and it's kind of, you learn.
Are these bikes to get around LCC or get around town?
No. So you check out, you get this bike for the whole term, and it's kind of like a library style checkout, but you have the whole term, basically, to have the bike, and then you can take it anywhere you want. You ride it, and it's like your bike for a term and everything, which is awesome. Cool. And it doesn't cost anything. The way they got the money for that is there was a grant for the transportation grant that basically paid for the new parking lot, and it paid for some other stuff, and like there was still money left over. And it's really hard to ask for more money when there's money left over and everything. Sure. So the dean basically hit up Mike Sims, which is the recycling coordinator there at LCC, and was like, "Hey, you're a bike guy. Why don't you run this program?" And like, so he bought all these bikes and everything, and they're kind of stored in like the recycling facilities. I guess they have a new space where they're storing them now and stuff, but nobody, I mean, it was just him running the program and kind of fixing it. And I was like, this is great. Like, there's bikes that go out to students, and it was a really kind of like worthy cause. So I started, fixing them every term. And then, about 2 years later, it was starting to get to the point where like I was trying to do a lot more than they really wanted me to, and I was kind of beat my head up against the brick wall of like, hey, how about we like promote the program by like putting out some flyers? And he's like, oh, well, because like it would require more work from him and everything, right? And so basically I was like, okay, well, how about I make the flyers, and then I go get them printed, and you give me the money from this, like from the grant program.
Yeah, you do the work and they reimburse you.
Yeah, well, no, basically I'll just take the money over to our printing area and like just get you a receipt, and then you just pay them, So it wasn't like I had any money and everything in the program. I was just a volunteer. But then, so like it was like little things like that. Hey, how about we shoot, like, we have Lane TV, how about we shoot this PSA? And like, okay, well, I'll borrow the bikes and everything actually, and I'll go out and I'll get my my friends to ride the bikes, and we'll film it, and I'll do all the editing and stuff, and I'll give you the perfect file formats and all this stuff. And then it like never got released and everything. So, you know, after a couple of years, I was like, it dawned on me, you know, like, why don't I just do this for myself, you know? Because I'm like fixing all these bikes, and now I'm getting pretty good at it and everything. And like, holy shit, I can get paid for this? Like, oh my God. So I was living with a buddy at the time, and I took over our little laundry room in the back and everything and built this cart, and then I was pulling it around. And so for the first year I did that, and then I was in the Fertilab. Which
I know Fertilab. It's right across from Holt Center, right?
Yeah. Well, this is when they were in the old location down on the next to the jail and everything, above like Wildcraft Cider, which I guess isn't there now anymore. But
I didn't even know Wildcraft was over there.
Oh yeah. It was right on Lincoln and everything, right? Like right down the street from where the wine lab is, in that big brick building and everything. There's like an art place of kind of like an art place, and then there's also a couple other like offices upstairs.
Are you talking about the Heron Building? Which is right next to Down to Earth and stuff?
Oh, no, it's the one that has Raven Frameworks next to it. I can't remember what
okay.
It's like the Mix something and everything building, right? And yeah, so I was in there, and I needed somewhere to like go and do business stuff, because doing it at my house wasn't getting anything done, you know? Sure, you're like, hey, I could either do business stuff, or I could wash those dishes that I need to get to.
Yeah. Oh, sure, yeah. It's like, I could edit the podcast today, or I could do it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, totally.
You mentioned Fertilab. Fertilab is also where some of the game jams happened, or at least some of the early ones where you have 72 hours to create a video game.
Oh, yeah,
so Fertilab's great for like events like that and just general community.
Yeah, my buddy actually, I can't remember what the name of it is, but he's down at the new location, and he's doing that 72-hour, it's like some sort of European one.
Ludum Dare?
Yeah, he's totally doing that one and everything.
We might know the same guy. Maybe off air? I don't know.
No, it was, how am I blanking right now and everything?
Also throw some names at you. Geronimo.
Yes, Geronimo. No way.
That's
totally.
He was like guest number 3, guest number 4 on this podcast.
Oh, no way. Okay, that's whose bike I had to go drop off and everything, actually.
Cool.
Like,
that's awesome. Yeah, he's coming back in January
like,
for season 2.
And this is how Eugene gets to be so small.
Yeah. All the cool people connect.
But like, yeah, so I was down there, and like they kind of offhandedly mentioned, hey, so we're actually starting this other space, and this guy's going to be doing like a makerspace and everything. This would be perfect if you want to go check it out. Like, here's his number and stuff. So I hit him up, and I went over, and it was basically behind Hop Valley. And so he basically partnered with Fertilab to kind of co-brand the makerspace and everything. And it's supposed to be like co-working, rapid prototyping, machine shop and everything, right? Which was amazing. It was like 2,000 square foot of like all the best machine tools and everything. And Eric Harvey was awesome. I mean, seriously learned a heap load from that guy and everything. And like, he's the same guy who does masonry. He does like silicone koozies for mason jars. And he also does like a lot of really awesome prototyping and everything. But yeah, so I went in there, and then basically, was like, holy crap, this place is amazing. And how much is it to like rent a place? And he was like, I don't know, maybe like $100 a month and everything. So I got a section of the shop and access to all the tools for like $100 a month, which was amazing. I mean, it's a 2,000 square foot full-on machine shop, like with like lathes and milling machines and a CNC router and 3D printers and all the hand tools. And they had these like big 4x8 tables that rolled around the shop and everything. So if you got a project, you can kind of just put them on a table and kind of take over the scene. It was amazing. And so we kind of grew up in there, and then had our own little space. And then basically he got an offer from Bend to move the makerspace over there, which was awesome. They were going to give him a year free rent, which is like save him like $20,000 and everything, because it did cost quite a lot to operate the space, and it didn't necessarily take off like he was hoping, and that was strategic and everything. He was making so much machining and everything that he really didn't want to push for the co-working, because if he didn't have access to some of the tools when he needed them, he was losing like thousands of dollars and everything. So so also I tried to help promote that place and everything. So I paid half of the cost to make all these flyers, and then he told me not to put them out, which really kind of slowed the whole progression of the space and everything. But we had some awesome guys there, and I got to meet a lot of really cool guys who were making things in Eugene. And it was amazing. I mean, like anything from like weekend project warriors to like companies that are coming in and just need to use the tools and everything. So we were in there for about a year, and then I was doing an event and everything, right? And basically met the Toolbox project gals and everything. So Beth and Anya, and I mentioned that, hey, I'm actually looking for a space and everything. And if you guys know of anything, let me know. And they call me back about a month or so later and everything. And we're like, actually, we're going to be building this tool lending library over in the Friendly Street neighborhood. And we would love for you to come and help us build it and like basically move your shop into this and everything once it's all done.
Right.
And so I, basically took 6 months like off of, I'm still doing my job. And at this point I was doing patchwork repair full time, and
I watched the progress of that place being built when you did the foundation and everything.
Yeah. All the updates and everything.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I mean, I really learned a lot there. And I did most of it with Beth's husband, Justin. Shout out to Beth and Justin. They're fucking rad. But they basically have moved now and everything, and there was some stuff with basically they were gonna do. She was on the board and everything, and then they were gonna hire her, but that wasn't quite enough because it hadn't taken off. Mm-hmm. And so Beth kind of like moved out. I thought I was gonna be working with her a lot more, so I ended up working a lot more with Anya and stuff. And but yeah, had the shop in the Toolbox project I had a year lease and everything with them. And so yeah, basically had the business incubating in there, and then when I moved out of there, I've had it more mobile now and everything actually. So but in January here, actually I'll be getting a garage in the back of my house, which is amazing.
Oh, really cool.
So yeah, so basically it'll be the focus of a lot of things is kind of shifting more from the repair and everything into more of the design stuff. I mean, that's what I went to school for in the beginning, was like product, industrial design, and kind of that whole scene.
That explains why you're such an entrepreneur then.
Yeah.
You make your own hats?
Yeah.
Fix your own bikes?
Well, yeah, I was trying to do the hats to get into the more design stuff and everything. I have them still up on Etsy and everything, but it doesn't quite make enough for me to like sustain my life off of it. So
that's the art life.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I would die. But yeah. So, and that's actually so as I was moving out of the Toolbox project and everything, I was out doing a job, and this is kind of how I've got the job that I'm doing now. So I'm also working at Bike Friday, which is a bicycle manufacturer on West 11th. And I met the founder actually doing patchwork repair, and he was walking his dog and his wife, and like they were all out, and I was basically in a driveway, fixing this guy's bike, and he kind of like walked down the street and kind of like did this like neck craning turn and was like, hey, did you like build that? Because I forgot to mention, at the Fertilab, that's where we built the cargo bike that we do the mobile repair off of and everything. So we've got a cargo bike that is basically a repurposed bicycle that I built a whole box onto, and
I've seen cargo. Either your username is cargo bike, or somewhere on your profile on Facebook, I've seen cargo bike.
Yeah, it's all over the place, Like,
well, that's cool. I mean, like you mentioned, like when doing this stuff, like patchwork gets you a job elsewhere.
Right.
That's kind of what happened with me. I've been trying to do more social media animation work because I know there's work in that, and so I've been doing it for this podcast. I did some for Whitaker Block Party, and just doing that, I actually accidentally built up a portfolio that I could actually get some jobs and contracts doing that for companies.
Yeah, you got to have a portfolio and everything.
Yeah.
Like that's, I mean,
I knew I could do it, but I couldn't prove it, and then now I can.
Yeah. I mean, and like once you get that kind of base level of volume of work up, that's so we got to chatting in the driveway, and he was like, "Oh, you got to come and take a tour of Bike Friday and stuff." Yeah. So I went in, and they didn't quite. It was like winter of like last year and everything, and they hadn't had any kind of like openings there. But they're like, "Okay, come and drop off a resume and everything." So what I did is I put together my portfolio actually, and it has all the projects, like the Toolbox project, and it had like patchwork repair, and it had like independent student work, and it had like the bike lane program, and like all this stuff. And what I did is I took one of those plastic folders and everything, and I cut it in half, and then I like sewed the pages of the portfolio and like bound them into the plastic one, and like basically dropped off this portfolio, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll keep your resume on file," and I was like, "Oh shit." It's like a resume is like a white sheet of lies, like this is like color. It's got pictures and references, and like, the bike lane video is all in there, like all this stuff, it's like multimedia, like booyah. If this does not get me a job here, nothing will, Right. And so, so I've been working there for, I guess, going on 9-10 months now and everything. Wow. So yeah,
that's awesome to hear. That's cool. Last question about that.
Yeah.
Why is it called Bike Friday?
So Bike Friday was founded by Hans and Alan and everything, and which are two brothers, Hans and Alan Schultz. And I think that the reason it's named Bike Friday is there was nothing like a folding cart, like a folding bike that that you could take anywhere. I think it was kind of one of Hans's kind of brainchilds, that like you would take your bike on a Friday and go and do whatever, and then it's kind of an adventure cycle and everything. So so yeah, and we got like ironic names like the Bike Friday Tandem Tuesday with TWO because it's a tandem, like, or the or like a couple other ones that are kind of plays on the weekend or weekday name. So
well, that's awesome. You sound like a very Eugenian.
This is, I would say, our most Eugene guest. And I'll call out the other ones. I'll call out the other 14 and say, no, that's okay.
Hey, they're all great.
No, they're great.
I feel like I could ask you any question, you would have an answer, an explanation for
I got an 18-minute story for it. Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have you on again.
Yeah, I think we're hitting time here, so we're gonna talk about some social media, and we'll do a little bit of business here. We're going into the holidays. We've got really 2 weeks of recording left in the year, but we're not gonna record Christmas week. Christmas is on a Monday, so we could record that Wednesday, but we're just gonna take the week off. So we've got one more episode, and that's a local Eugene tech guy. So we're gonna talk about that with Mark Davis. So that's gonna be super fun.
You guys got Mark Davis?
Yeah. Oh man, we scored Mark Davis.
I thought he might know him because I've seen
Mark's
Mark Davis at a toolbox project, and he goes to Fertilab.
Yeah, I fixed that
awesome.
co-cycle actually like a lot. I fixed it a lot. Like the big red. Oh my god, when he dresses up in the red and the white stripes shirt and everything, and rides the quad bike around.
The unicorn horn.
Oh yeah, sexy. Like Mark Davis, you're so awesome.
So when we come back in January, that'll be officially season 2. We'll have done 17 episodes and 16 unique guests in year 1. And we'll do it because we started this in like September or August, so we'll have a lot more episodes for year 2. But in doing that, we want to write new themes, new intros. We want to make it sound a little more presentable, maybe. Ideally, not copywritten Wheel of Fortune music, so we're going to try to do that in Ableton Live. So Dan and I are going to pick a whole day and do nothing but write music and themes for that day. But what we want for the the 2.5 people who listen to the show, I'd say, write in, tell us, and don't feel don't feel afraid or ashamed or unsure, because no one writes in. Every time we ask, no one does it. So just write. You will get it. Tell us who your favorite guests were, which segments you liked, which ones you didn't, what you want to see in the future. Are we talking about Eugene too much, too little? Give us that feedback. We're gonna have guests back. Like I said, we're bringing Geronimo back for the first week because we ran into him and he was like, "I want to be back on the show." And we're like, "Duh, of course you do."
Yeah. I think
we got lots of other. We were hanging out with Jesse last night.
We were hanging out at Game Pub last night.
Shuriken League. Lots of people like to call it Shuriken League. We're hanging out there, and he wants to come back too. And, of course, I'm a big fan of getting our other musical guest, Michael, back. And obviously, we're having just a crazy amount of fun of Clayton here. And he's probably got a billion more stories. So we're probably going to...
man.
Yeah.
So we're looking at definitely having some return guests in Season 2. And, of course, we have many people lined up who we haven't recorded yet. And then maybe, if you're listening to the show and you're like, hey, I want to come on, and you're not a serial killer, we'll probably let you into my studio in the bedroom.
Hell, I am a serial killer.
Yeah, but he's never serial killed me, and I appreciate that.
The podcast would be over then, man.
It's the long con.
Yeah.
I'll get you eventually, my
It's the sting,
as soon as he learns how to use the mics, then he can kill me and take them. So, with that, we're going to wrap it up.
Catch me at Cornucopia every Monday at 9 p.m.
That's the drink and draw. There's also there's all sorts of trivia all over town.
Nice. I didn't know you did the drink and draw.
Oh, he's all about the drink and draw.
That's
I help
awesome.
them out. Yeah, I help them out with their social media and stuff.
Yeah, no, I love the stuff that's coming out of there, man. There's like totally wild cats, like I
come by.
I see that stuff.
There's trivia at Park Street Cafe Monday at 6. I never get to make it because I always get off work at 6 or 7, but I'm going to try. What's that show? The show Mark's doing. We should promote it. Eugene.
Oh, Tech Tuesday.
Tech Tuesday. At 6. It's a live show. So, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks they'll have better audio.
That's at Barnlight.
Look for the
unicorns. The
unicorns
will be on the... No, they do it live on Facebook, and then they put it on YouTube later.
And they put it on YouTube. Okay. Yeah. And I'm sure if you try the hashtag Tech Tuesday, that might pull up, and you can go to Barnlight. What else is going on in town? Well, if you're looking to contact us for that feedback, we have momentsgostudios@gmail.com. You can, of course, message us on Instagram or comment on Instagram. I'm at Lars in the Studio. Dan is at Dan Koss. That's KOSS. You do it twice. If you're wanting to find out where to listen, if you're on SoundCloud and you're like, I hate this app, we're also on Stitcher. You can listen to the last 8 episodes. If you get Stitcher Premium, you'll unlock it all. We don't make any money. We're not paid to be on Stitcher. That's just how it works.
Well, we're sure trying to get them.
Yeah, we'd love to get that Stitcher dollar. So if you go, hey, where's our promo code for What Up Eugene? Maybe they'll give us one.
What up, Eugene?
What up, Eugene?
I'd like to point out, Hi-Fi Music Hall has something coming up, and I believe it's called Instrument Zoo, which is the idea is that they're going to have a bunch of instruments for people to come and play with, kind of like a petting zoo.
Yeah, they used to have a musical petting zoo at U of O every year. They might still do it.
It was cool. Is that Banjo Youngblood?
Oh, I'm not sure. I just saw the event on Facebook, and I thought that's a funny name and a cool concept.
No, it's super cool. I went to the U of O one a few years ago, and they had a theremin, like the kind of hand where... Oh my god. First of all, harder than it looks to play, and second of all, sweet fucking instrument. I crushed Ode to Joy. I crushed it.
I don't know when that's happening. I don't know when that's happening, but if you look up Hi-Fi Music Hall on Facebook, they'll have the event out there. And lastly, we're going to hand it over to Clayton. If you want to promote anything, we know you have Patchworks Repair.
Patchwork Repair and Patchwork Design Co.
Do you have social media, websites? What do you got for us?
Actually, you can find me on Instagram at Patchwork Design Co.
Nice.
And you can also find me on Facebook at Patchwork Repair. And also the main website and everything to find our service and to also get links to all the other stuff is patchworkrepair.tumblr.com.
All right.
Also, Dan has started. He's always made the fridge magnets, which are prizes. We have to do prizes.
We can get that in later.
We'll do that. We'll do that after We'll just kind of go into the prizes. We're not gonna. But one of the things that Dan likes to make as a prize, I hope this isn't too much of a spoiler. He has buttons he makes out of bottle caps with magnets, and he's done a couple with our social. Like one with our What Up Eugene logo on it, and the other peer-reviewed beer review, and we're calling it merch. So. I would say we're not selling them, but what I would say is if someone wants to get their hands on some of these, all you have to do is message us with a question or feedback of some kind, legitimate, no trolling, that we can then read on air. And maybe we'll mail it to you, or if you're someone I know, I'll just give it to you in person. So that's go ahead. Say, hey, where's my hashtag? Where's my pen? It's not really a pen. Hashtag where's my magnet?
Yeah. Where's my magnet?
Mention a free magnet with your social media. And on that, we're gonna end on the prize bag. So you get 3 prizes.
Right,
you can't
so
look.
I don't look right.
Just stick your hand in there and go to town. Ooh, I love that. He's getting that right in the mic.
Do it.
All right, I got a What Up Eugene magnet.
Nice. He didn't even have to submit a question for that. Nope.
Or come on the podcast. You're like,
that's the other thing. Yeah.
We should do pins actually, so people can wear them around. That'd be cool.
We can do that too. Buttons.
Yeah. Actually, my buddy Nick D'Angelo, he's actually got a button maker and everything. Actually, Krusty Comics and everything. What up, Nick D'Angelo?
I'm thinking I want to say I know him.
No, his name sounds familiar.
Oh,
I know Nick. I'm pretty sure his name's D'Angelo. Yeah.
Krusty White Boy Comics. That's his new one. And he also, he also has, he's been doing Eugene comics since the fucking beginning. Actually, he's got some that are like.
That's probably where I've seen his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my buddy. God, I've known him since high school and everything, actually. But he's also Greetings from Eugene is one of his really old ones, and Just Add Water is another one of the comics he does.
I definitely know his work then.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a couple new editions of Krusty White Boy Comics that just came out and everything. So holla, Nick.
All right.
We gotta get that bad boy on the show.
Yeah.
And then season 2,
prize number 2.
All right, let's see here.
Around.
That's fantastic.
It's all downhill from that bottle cap bag.
Definitely a condom in there.
Did you put it back in?
I took the condom out.
He took it out. He put it over there.
There's no condoms in there.
Oh, all right. We're going with the super lemon.
He gets 3, Dan.
Oh, he gets 3.
Oh, he gets 3, right? You
he
only got one
does
wrong.
get 3. He does get 3.
And a Kit Kat.
Finishing off with some candy.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And that's going to be the end of the episode, so let me play our outro sound file. Moments Go Studios.